Here we are today, folks, with some more good stuff. This is William Kelly, and I want to cover imposter syndrome for those of you out there who might be feeling like you have imposter syndrome or feel like other people may perceive you as an imposter. If you're feeling like you don't quite have the confidence to step up and be the authority and make your offer or your pitch or provide your service to others because maybe you just haven't spent enough time doing it, and you haven't developed that proficiency, and you don't feel like you have the credibility, whatever it is, right? Maybe it's just this idea that you think that someone will discover that there are people out there who are better than you, and you're comparing yourself to what you could be in other people's minds. It's all just a bunch of noise. And by the end of this short little video today, I'd like to have completely shifted that for you. And if not by the end of this video, maybe after you've watched this little short video a second time or a third time, because sometimes these things take repetition to really sink in and create that shift for you. So let's start with the idea that everybody is an imposter. I know that sounds kind of kooky, and how is that going to be useful for you? Bear with me for a second, because this is worth exploring. You are the only real version of yourself. The complete, accurate version of you, no one will ever know. No one will ever get to see that. It's impossible for them to know that. That means that everybody that you know has an incomplete, inaccurate version of who they think you are in their minds. An imposter, in essence, right? It's not the real version. It's not the real you. So therefore, it can't be the real you. The you that they have in their mind is an imposter. That means if you know 1,000 people, there's 1,000 different versions of you out there in the world. None of them are complete and none of them are accurate. There are 7.8 billion people on the planet. That means if you could possibly meet everybody on the planet, there'd be 7.8 billion different versions of you running around out there. All imposters. The only real version is you. I am the only real version of me. I'm an imposter, for crying out loud, because no one will ever know the real version of me. It's impossible. So the idea is that when we show up in the world, that we have a product or a service, or we have a message to communicate to somebody, or maybe we're just in different types of relationships, a business relationship, a romantic relationship, right? Relationships with service providers, right? Relationships with our family, right? We want to show up as the most ideal version of ourselves, right? Authentic and genuine. And that's difficult sometimes because we're trying to be what we think they want us to be. But remember, we don't know who they think we are. We don't know which imposter version that they're carrying around in their heads. So what we want to do is show up. You want to know your message. You want to be confident in the service that you're able to provide, that you want to provide, and let go of this responsibility to damn it. That was pretty good. You almost had it. Maybe I think I might just keep rolling with this because this will give you. This is perfect actually right here. I'm going to keep rolling the tape because this is just classic. I could have made this thing perfect the first time through, right? I could have just cut that out or went around and hit pause and re-recorded it so you could see this perfect ideal version of me, right? But that's just not the way life is. Life is imperfect. I'm constantly evolving and changing and adapting and recovering and getting back on track. So that's what you have today. That's a great metaphor for what we're talking about. So when you're showing up in the world, as long as you're not misrepresenting yourself, never misrepresent yourself, never lie, never cheat, always tell the truth and be genuine. And that's what genuine really is being, right? It's being able to be authentic and vulnerable, right? Accepting the fact that you're not perfect and being willing to let other people see that. And understanding that as long as you're showing up and you're being genuine and you're not misrepresenting yourself, you are a person who is evolving. You're, fly on my face, you're constantly evolving. You're going to be a different person tomorrow than you were yesterday and than you are today. And if you're learning and you're taking feedback from your behaviors and your actions in the world around you, and you're using that to improve yourself and make yourself a better person, and you're also continuing to try to learn how to communicate your message and your value to others, that makes you legit. Think about that for a second. You're genuine and you're authentic and you're legit because you're perfectly imperfect. And you're evolving and you accept that. And that's what you do when you show up in front of the world as yourself with your message and your service or product. You can take a lot of confidence in that as that starts to really sink in. Give it some thought. I've got something else really cool I'd like you to consider for a moment to add to that. Just a little cherry to put on that. That's an edit right there, by the way. You are the best. Well, you're one of the best. That's a pretty cool idea. You can say to yourself from now on, I'm one of the best. You don't have to go bragging about that and telling it to others. And what do I mean by that? I mean you're one of the best in your field because you are on the list of the best. Let's just say you write a book, for instance, and you go on the Amazon bestseller list for a day or two, right? Amazon sells tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of books. I don't know. I know they sell a lot of books. And when they say bestseller, that means it's on the list of the top selling books that they offer. It doesn't mean it's the top selling book. It means it's somewhere on that list of the best. That list of the best includes all of the books that they have, right? That's the top selling, the book they sell the most copies of, and the book that they sell the least copies of. We're just like that as people too. I don't know where you are with your level of proficiency and expertise at what you do, but I do know that you are on the list of 7.8 billion people on the planet, and you're ranked in there somewhere. I don't know what your ranking is. You don't know what your ranking is, but you're on the list of the best, which also includes the worst, but you're on that list. So from now on, you can think of yourself as one of the best. And remember earlier how we talked about being able to take feedback from your environment and your results and evolve and grow and adapt and learn, right? When you're doing that and you're on that list of the best, you're getting even better. And that's legit. So you can improve your ranking with yourself and with the world around you every day, not by measured on social media, but within yourself. And you'll start to see it show up in your world with your confidence with other people. You can improve your ranking if you're just committed to becoming the best version of yourself, to be authentic and to be genuine and to show up as the ideal version of yourself, perfectly imperfect. And one more little thing before we go. Another edit right there. I think there's another edit. Shit. Damn, one little thing before we go. What was it? You've probably heard of faking it till you make it. We want to do that, but we don't want to do it. I'll explain that to you. Faking it can be looked at as misrepresenting yourself. It can be looked at as pretending to be something you're not. Or faking it might mean stepping into the role of the ideal version of you. Stepping just a little bit outside of your comfort zone and your normal boundaries and patterns of behavior to be the best you can be. To think as clearly as you can think, right? To be as strong physically as you can be, to act as confident as you can be, to be as engaging and to be as curious and social as you can be, when in fact your normal tendencies might not be to be quite that expressive or to fit that role so accurately. Faking it till you make it means to take examples from the world around you, what you see when you see greatness in others, when you see other people able to perform at a certain level. It means being able to take that and add it to your future self and strive to become that person, that ideal version of yourself. So when you show up and you're faking it, fake it till you make it means I'm going to stand up with my shoulders back. Even though I don't feel confident, when I stand up with my shoulders back, I feel confident. It's almost as if I'm faking confidence. I'm physiologically stepping into the role, and therefore it will show up. When you fake something long enough, it becomes real. When you act out something long enough, it becomes real for you. That's true of if you're being introverted and you're trying to be more social, and if you practice with other people in real time, asking questions about them and being more engaging, you'll become more social. It'll be easier. You'll become more socially at ease. If you're depressed and you're walking around like this, and you just, without even being able to shift your mindset, if you shift your posture and you pull your teeth back pull your lips back to expose your teeth, some people call it a smile, but you'll start to feel better. It's almost impossible to feel depressed when you're like this. You're kind of faking it until you make it. When we're talking about faking it, what we're meaning is emulate the behaviors and the attitudes that you want to evolve into, that you want to be perceived as. Emulate the best possible version of yourself at all times. So that's what we mean by faking it till you make it. You're allowed to do that as long as you're not misrepresenting yourself. In fact, I want you to fake it just a little bit. Next time you step into a certain scenario, step in with a little bit more of that ideal version of yourself, how you in the future at your best would show up. Try and start getting in touch with that and stepping into that role a little bit more. And you'll start to see how it actually affects the way that you think and you feel about yourself. It'll start to become part of your identity. So again, as long as you're showing up in the world and you're not misrepresenting yourself, you are one of the best. You can kind of fake it till you make it if you're doing it the right way. And if you're learning and you're adapting and you're evolving and you're growing, you are legit and you're authentic. So until next time, we'll get some more good stuff cooking for you. I'll talk to you later. Go on with it.